The Battle of the Bulge. Described as the most significant American conflict during the war by Winston Churchill, the Battle of the Bulge unfolded in the Ardennes region of Belgium and marked Adolf Hitler's final major offensive against the Western Front in World War II. Hitler's objective was to fracture the advancing Allies, Britain, France, and America, as they made their way towards Germany. However, the German forces' inability to successfully divide the Allied powers through the Ardennes offensive paved the way for victory for the Allies. Spanning a grueling 6-week period from December 16, 1944, to January 25, 1945, this campaign, also known as the Battle of the Ardennes, occurred amid freezing weather conditions. Approximately 30 German divisions launched an attack on battle-weary American troops across an 85-mile stretch within the densely wooded Ardennes forest. As the German forces penetrated the Ardennes, the Allied front line took on the shape of a pronounced bulge, which led to the battle's name. This engagement turned out to be the most costly endeavor ever undertaken by the U.S. Army, resulting in more than 100,000 casualties. The once peaceful and wooded Ardennes region was transformed into a scene of chaos and destruction due to intense fighting. American forces entrenched themselves against the German onslaught at strategic points like St. Vith, Elsenborn Ridge, Houffalize, and later, Bastogne, where the 101st Airborne Division valiantly defended their position. On the very first day of the surprise German assault, the front lines were breached, and reports swiftly circulated regarding the tragic fate of both military personnel and innocent civilians, as reported by the U.S. Army Center of Military History. Harsh conditions and misinformation. The strategic aspect of Hitler's attack in mid-December, which ranks among the war's most deadly, was marked by harsh environmental conditions. The American troops endured freezing rain, dense fog, extensive snowdrifts, and historically low temperatures. These conditions led to the suffering of the troops, with over 15,000 instances of cold injuries, encompassing trench foot, pneumonia, and frostbite, documented during that winter period. An additional tactic employed by the Nazis involved attempting to infiltrate the ranks of Allied troops. These Nazi operatives underwent meticulous training for their perilous mission, as detailed in a 1945 Life magazine report. They had mastered the English language, and their use of slang had been honed through close interactions with American prisoners of war held in German camps. According to the regulations outlined in the Hague Convention, these German individuals could be legally classified as spies and thereby subjected to an immediate court-martial. Following a brief period of consideration, American officers reached a verdict of guilt and decreed the standard punishment for espionage, execution by firing squad. To counteract these infiltrators, U.S. forces devised a method where suspected Germans were tested with American trivia questions. The Air Force's Christmas present. It wasn't until Christmas Day that the prevailing weather conditions finally cleared, permitting the Allied air forces to launch their strikes. It was on that radiant, crisp, and frigid Christmas morning in 1944 when the ground became solidly frozen, Brantley recounted to the leader. Tanks and air units could now execute maneuvers and reach those of us who had previously been cut off. The sunrise was a reassuring sight, signifying that we had endured for yet another day. Guided by the leadership of Dwight D. Eisenhower, the Supreme Allied Commander, and George S. Patton Jr., the American defense was rallied to regain control of the front. According to information from the National Archives account of the bloodiest battle, Eisenhower assigned Patton the Third Army, a force comprising approximately 230,000 soldiers, and instructed him to proceed to the Ardennes. The arrival of the 101st. In the pivotal Belgian town of Bastogne, a crucial turning point, the Germans encircled numerous Allied troops. In response, Eisenhower dispatched additional forces, including the renowned 101st Airborne Division. When the Germans conveyed their demand for the 101 Street surrender on December 22, they received a succinct response from its leader, Brig. General Anthony McAuliffe, nuts. This retort was construed by German officers as a more vivid and dismissive reply to their ultimatum. The day following Christmas, units from Patton's rapidly advancing Third Army finally arrived, penetrated the German defenses, and rescued the beleaguered troops. The declaration of victory in the battle came on January 25, 1945, as the Allies set their sights on Berlin. Less than 5 months later, the war concluded with Germany's surrender on May 7. In total, as per the U.S. Department of Defense, over 1 million Allied troops, including about 500,000 Americans, participated in the Battle of the Bulge, resulting in approximately 19,000 soldiers killed in action, 47,500 wounded, and over 23,000 missing. On the German side, about 100,000 soldiers were either killed, wounded, or captured. The Ardennes Campaign of 1944-45 stood among a series of arduous engagements in the broader struggle for Europe. Nonetheless, it can be asserted that the Ardennes Campaign encapsulated them all. Here, American and German combatants clashed in a decisive confrontation that dealt a significant blow to the Nazi war machinery. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more like it, check out some of my other videos on my channel. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.